Okay, make sure we are officially recording. Yay, welcome everybody. I'm so happy you're on. This is a special week because we've got our coach sneak peek behind the scenes event happening. And so we have a lot going on, a lot of excitement. It's just super cool to be able to share our world with people because I think, it's really hard to understand it until you're in it. And when you're a part of it and being a part of the community, it's really hard to explain until you get to actually experience it. So I'm excited for all of those who are on live or watching the recording. If you are part of our, if you're a guest this week on our team page, I'm so excited that you're with us because, whether or not this opportunity is a good fit for you, I hope that you can at least get plugged in with us. If it's not a coach, even just in our monthly challenge groups or boot camps, that way you have all of the support that you need to begin a healthy journey and set up and create healthy habits for life. We're all about that. We don't like the quick fix stuff. We think that's it's a shame because we are in this for life and we want to give you the best possible results for a truly healthy life. And that's what we're all about. That's why we're here. That's why we sacrifice, 30 minutes, 45 minutes on a Monday evening to get together and come together and have a meeting. So I'm just excited that you're here. And for those of you T180 coaches, I'm so excited you're here. Of course, I love meeting with you. So tonight you're probably like, okay, so what is up with that title of our call tonight? You're probably thinking you're crazy and what's this all about? So let me explain. So before I dive in, I want you right now to think about and you may have a couple pop in your head, but I want you to think about one name brand product or item, clothing, food, whatever, that is a name brand that's kind of expensive or really expensive that you are like, I will pay whatever it costs for this item. So maybe it's a North Face coat. Like if you live in Michigan and it gets freezing cold, you're willing to invest a lot of money into a good coat, right? And most of us will buy North Face or whatever. So I want you to think about that one name brand, high priced product that you will spend the money on because you love it, because it's reliable, because they're just consistently awesome. And so you're like, I can invest in something like that. So get that in your brain and think about that. And I want you to start thinking about all of the reasons why you will pay that kind of money and invest into that product over going to, I don't know, say Walmart or another, maybe another clothing store or store that may carry a knockoff version of that one thing. So I want you to be thinking about that as we're talking about this. And let me bring in the whole Yeti tumbler. Okay, so here's the thing. I had no clue what a Yeti tumbler was. So if you're on this call and you're like, what the heck is that? You're not alone because I didn't even know what it was until I moved to Texas. So a Yeti cooler, it's actually a cooler line, I think. And you guys may even correct me if I'm wrong, I just know of the coolers. So hopefully that's right. So it's a very expensive cooler, like the stuff you put cold drinks in, ice in, food in, like a cooler, not an igloo, but like a Yeti. So like Yeti's like the Mercedes-Benz, well, not even the Mercedes-Benz, like whatever, like the highest, I don't know, Maybach of all coolers, right? So Yeti, I'm like, okay, this is cool. And Colson's like, do you even know how much that costs? Because we went into a sporting goods store and I'm like, it's a cooler. Like, no. And he's like, that cooler is like $600. And I was like, why would anybody pay $600 for a cooler to put ice in and food? Like, I don't understand. Like, that makes no sense. Okay, so all of that's like the setup of the story, right? So I had no idea what Yeti was. Now, come to find out, we were at a Christmas party with some friends, and we had a couple of friends in Odessa when we lived in Texas, the oil field town, right? So like lots and lots and lots and lots of money. I lived in Orange County, California, and thought there was a lot of money there. Not until you live in the oil field business do you even understand what money is. I was like mind blown, like what money was, right? Anyway, so we had some friends who worked there and they had a lot of money. So for a Christmas party, we were supposed to bring like $5 gifts. And one of these couples who had a lot of money brought a Yeti tumbler, right? And I'm like, that's insane. And Colson's like, do you even know how much that costs? I'm like, no, but it's probably, what, let me guess, like $300. And he's like, it's like an $80 time. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? This is like this is like, like a $15 thing. And I'm like, how on earth? So all of that to say, I want to show you. So this is not a Yeti. This is not a Yeti. This is a mossy oak tumbler, right? Okay, so here you go. We don't own a Yeti tumbler because those cost between $60 and $80 for a 30 ounce or even smaller. We went and bought this at Walmart for like, I think he said $13 or $15, right? So it had all of the claims on it that a Yeti cooler tumbler does, in which it's supposed to keep the hot drinks hot for like up to 8 hours, like hot. And then it's supposed to keep the cold drinks cold for like 12. It's like crazy. I don't know. Somebody's super rich off of that. But anyway, so we bought the knockoff brand, and Colson put it to the works. There were the tests, and he actually found out that it does the same exact thing as the Yeti. Like he timed it out, and he discovered that it kept the hot coffee so hot for so long, like comparable to the Yeti, right? But people will pay $80 over $15 because of the name, because of the brand name, because of who makes it. They will make the investment. Whether it's to just say, hey, I own a Yeti tumbler or a Yeti cooler, I don't know. Or if they just believe, that this is the best of the best and that then nothing else can come close, right? But we've tested the cheap stuff, and we know that it can do just the same thing. So where the heck am I going with this, honestly? So tonight, I want to just encourage you, and I want to talk to you a little bit about creating a name for yourself in your business. Because the fact of the matter is, you look around, you see coaches all around you. There's coaches all around. We see them in our news feeds. We see them around us. We see them at events. We were just at a Super Saturday event this past weekend, and it was like, okay, there's lots of coaches in our area, right? Like we are not the only ones. And so it's so vital that as coaches that we create a name for ourselves in our business. So I just want you to keep in mind this whole Yeti cooler or whatever it is, the product that you love, and that name brand thing that you absolutely love, because here's the fact is that people are going to be loyal to you for a certain reason, that they're not going to be loyal to the next person. And I want to talk to you about these things, talk to you about creating a name for yourself in your business, setting yourself apart. What on earth is going to make you different, and what on earth is going to cause somebody to invest in you as opposed to somebody else? What's going to cause somebody to invest $140, $160 into you that's going to, that they're going to buy in enough to spend that kind of money? Because that's not cheap. We're not talking like a $20 thing, or whatever. We're talking about a serious investment, because we know, and we're committed to this because we know that they're not just investing into an awesome product. We know that they're investing into us. Like we are the coach, we are the encouragement, we are that missing puzzle piece to why so many people don't get healthy. So that's where we come in, and we are the missing puzzle piece to that. But if we are not extremely intentional about setting ourselves apart and really combining our unique gifts and talents that we have, that only we have, into our business, then we're going to get lost in the crowd. We're going to get lost in the crowd. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that tonight. So here are a few ways. I have 3 right here, and then I've got some other cool little tidbits to share with you. But I've got 3 reasons why people will choose you over other people, why they will invest in you as a coach. And this is it's so important, because we just, the fact is that we a lot of times assume that we are just here to sell a product, that we are just here to put an awesome product in somebody's hand, right? And we believe in it. We know how much Shakeology changes our life. We know how much the workouts have completely changed our life and our bodies. We know this. But a lot of times we believe, and we fall into the trap of thinking, I'm just here to sell a product. I'm just here to get these people connected to a product. Yes, that's true, but that's not going to get you very far in the long run. Because the problem is that people may fall in love with a product, but what's going to keep them around is you. is what you have to offer them, your unique gifts and talents that you have. We are the missing puzzle piece. So don't ever let yourself believe that you work for Beachbody, that you just promote and represent a product, because that's not it. That's not it. We work with Beachbody to help people create healthy lives for forever, for the long haul. Like this is not, again, just a quick fix. This is it for life. We are partnered with people. We are their support system. We do life with them. We go through the good. We go through the bad. We go through the trenches with them to make sure that they are getting the best results that last for a lifetime, so that we are connected with them forever. So how do we get people to buy into us? Like what is it that we can do that will say, listen, I am the right fit for you? So let me go into this. So number one, I believe that more people will choose you as their coach, will choose to invest in you when you are willing to share your story often, and when you're willing to share your story freely, like without holding back, without being timid, and without feeling like you can only give little bits and pieces, but like being willing to share your story, your journey, your struggles, the ups, the downs, the goods, the hardships, whatever, that you're willing to share that and go deep with people. There's a quote by Jen. Well, I say quote. She just said this, but Jen Hatmaker, who is a very well-known author, and she said this. She said, "Self-preservation does not work for my community. I would say that my secret sauce is almost embarrassing transparency." And she's become really well known because she's known as somebody who really connects with her audience. Like people love her because they feel like she speaks right to them, right? Like she writes devotionals and things like that. And she has gained she's just captivated audiences because she's open, she's transparent. And that's what people want. People don't want to read just another health tip. They don't want to read something that they want to know, how is it that you are handling this struggle in your life? How are you dealing with this time management issue that I can't seem to get past? I want to know how you fit your workout in your day. Like I have, this many kids and just like you. So how do you make it work? And then when you respond in a way that it's not, well, you need to do this and you need to do this, but saying, I totally understand. And let me just tell you how I've made it work. Let me tell you about the struggles. I'm not going to sugarcoat this and tell you it's going to be easy. It's going to take commitment and discipline, and you are going to have to really get disciplined about your life and your time management. And you've got to be passionate, and let me work with you to help you find why it is that you are so desperate to get healthy and to fit this into your life, so that you have a reason, a motivation to continue and go on and on. And so it takes that special connection with people by sharing your story openly and often, and being willing to just be vulnerable, not holding anything back. And I'm not saying like get weird about it and like share, have nudie pictures of yourself about like how you look or how you look then or now. Or, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about when I say transparency or being open. I'm just saying being willing to share the ugly side of your journey. Like be willing to talk about it. That's what people need. They're not just like she said, she wouldn't be as successful as she is today if she was not willing to be almost embarrassingly transparent. The things that are like really uncomfortable to share, that you're willing to put out there, you're willing to talk to with people. So that's the one thing. So people will invest in you because they trust you, because of your story, because of how much you're willing to share, and how they can say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've not met anybody yet who has struggled with that and who's overcome that. Like I haven't met anybody who's willing to pour into me and say, it's going to be okay. I've been there and here's how I overcame it. I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to do this together. The trust that you create with that person when you're really willing to do life with them. Like not just saying, you know what, that's awesome. I've been there and this is how I handled it, and good luck. I'll see you later. Like, I hope you get really great results with that. I'll see you later. But like walking with them, right? And just going through the whole journey with them. So that's the first thing, is just being willing to share your story openly, freely, often, being transparent. Number 2 is people will invest in you when you are fully invested in them. And I'm not just talking about like giving them some of your time and giving them some of your effort, but, and here's here's the real deal, is when you are willing to give them more of yourself than you know will ever come back to you. So when you're willing to give them more than you are wanting to get from them, like when you're willing to go that mile, even if you don't know if they'll even come back to you at all, like when you're willing to give that builds trust. That builds relationships. That's how people fall in love, because they realize, hey, you're willing to go that extra mile for me. You're willing to do whatever it takes for me. That is the best thing you can ever do with your business, is to give more than you ever know that you'll receive. So you got to place all of your emphasis on them. Because again, it's not about making our name great as a coach. It's not about trying to get the spotlight on us and say, wow, look at what I'm doing. Look at what I can do. Look at how much I can help you. Like, look at me. Look at how consistent I am. Look how much money I'm making. Like, if that's why we're in this, then it's gonna fall apart. It's not gonna be a fun ride. We're gonna destroy relationships. Like, it's not about us. It's all about them. It's all about making their name great. And what I love, back in, when was it? I guess it was at the leadership retreat in Dallas, and Michelle Myers had talked about how, as coaches, our goal is not to make ourselves the hero of the story, right? So we are not when we set out to help somebody, the goal is not that we become the hero for helping them. Because if that's the goal, then again, we're going to have a business that's an inch deep and a mile wide. We're not going to have awesome relationships that go deep, where we're in the trenches with people. We're going to have this much depth and a whole lot of width, because we might be trying to help a lot of people, but it's going to be this shallow. It's going to be a very shallow business that'll crumble. So our goal is to make it a strong business, and we do this by making our customers and the coaches on our team, we make them the hero of the story. They are the hero. When we build them up and lift them up and show them what's possible for their life, and we show them what they're capable of, when we look at them and we're able to say, look at these are your talents. These are the things that God's gifted you with. Like, this is a big deal. Like, you have a lot to offer. When you can look somebody in the eye and tell them that, can you imagine how much that's going to change their life? You know, when somebody else is saying, I recognize this about you. I recognize all of these positive traits about you, and I want to help you use those. I want to help you utilize those strengths that you already have to make a huge difference. So when we make them the hero of the story, when we stop trying to make ourselves the hero of the story, we're going to have far greater success. And I'm not promising any level of income. I'm not promising any size of a team. But what I am promising, when we make them the hero of the story, that we will be more fulfilled in our life than any other point in our life. When we set out to serve other people and help other people and invest in them, nothing about ourselves will remain the same. So number 2 is just putting the emphasis on them and understanding that we are not meant to be the hero of the story. We're not sweeping in and rescuing them. We are making them the hero of their own story and showing them what's possible for their lives. That's our job. Bottom line, that is all that we are here to do, is to make them the hero of the story. Number 3 is that we will end up having people invest their time and energy and money, everything into us, when we give them quality time. So not just a few extra spare minutes, but when we're willing to really spend time with them, right? So like, hey, let's meet for coffee. Let's work out together. Let's do a one-on-one webinar like this. Let's have a phone call. Let's do FaceTime, whatever that takes. And just letting them know, listen, I'm here for you, whatever that takes. And I'm not saying that you let people, I'm not saying that you let people walk all over you, right? I'm not saying that you need to schedule something with everybody while your family's, while your 3-year-old's sitting on the iPad for 4 hours in a row. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. We have to be wise with our time. We have to prioritize what's most important. But what I am saying is that we've got to give people quality time, right? So we've got to invest in it. All goes back to that whole idea of giving more than we understand if we're ever going to know that we get back. So we've got to go further and give more than what we could potentially receive back. And that goes back to giving quality time. No distractions. Put your phone away, turn it on silent or airplane mode. Don't meet with somebody if there needs to be an important conversation. Get a babysitter or whatever that looks like for you in your life. It's got to be quality. undistracted time. And then of course with energy, giving them your quality energy, you know, like don't meet with them when you are exhausted, when you don't have anything to give them. Like just reschedule and then give them your quality time and energy that's going to be worth the time, so that they understand that we are in this for them. We're not in this just to check it off of our to-do list, that their health matters, their business matters. Everything about them is extremely important to us. So we've got to give them our quality energy, and quality resources is the last one. We've got to be willing to create things that are of value. And again, you guys, this is not something you haven't heard before, that as coaches, we've got to give them valuable tools. Our job is to not be experts. We are not experts. We are not, you know, we don't know it all. We don't have all the answers. But what we do have is Google. We can Google the crap out of stuff and give them great valuable resources that they may not have time to go look up on their own, right? We get to be a great resource. I'm not saying just Google. A huge value to them is sharing our experience, what works for us, the things that have changed our health and our life. Those are the things of value that if we share that with people, we're willing to give them these freebies and these things that are just, hey, listen, let me just hook you up with this, you know, this great 7-day free recipe document. I just wanted to put some good, healthy recipes in your hands, and, you know, until the next time we talk, and just keep me posted. You know, something so simple, but giving them valuable tools and resources in their lives that they don't have to pay for, you know, that they don't have to do it on their own, but just saying, listen, this is a gift for me to you because I believe in you, because I appreciate you, because I know that your health is extremely important to me. And so I want to give you some valuable stuff because you are important to me. So that's good. Okay. So let me just wrap up. I got a couple more minutes. So when you're talking about creating a name for yourself, I want to remind you of something very, very important that John Maxwell said. This is his quote. He said, give me a person's heart before you give me their skill. Give me a person's heart before you give me their skill. I want their heart before I want their skill. I choose the heart first, is what he's saying, clearly. And I love, love, love that. Because you know what that does? It relieves the pressure of feeling like we have to know it all. Like feeling like we've got to have it all together before we take that first step. Because the truth of the matter, like I've said from the beginning of this call tonight, is that it matters so much more about our heart, our intentions of really wanting to help them become healthy above all else, making them the hero of this story, of their life, of their story, making them the hero for their family, right? Making them the hero for, you know, whoever else it is that is important to them, making them the hero of that. Give me a person's heart before you give me their skill. So that doesn't mean that you need to just back off trying to learn what you need to do. I mean, personal development is vital to our business, but it's all about our heart. It's all about what we have to offer from our experience, and how much are we willing to love someone? To what extent are we willing to love someone to help them to see and make sure that they get amazing results in their health that changes their life, that's going to change everything. Okay, and then, so that's one of the quotes. I have another one, and I got to pull it up here, guys. Sorry. So, all right, I'm going to read it to you. Let me close out of here. Okay, so the first one is from he's a highly acclaimed blogger, but he's very successful. And he said this, and it was all really just about being diligent and how our diligence creates trust, right? Our diligence, being diligent and not giving up, is what creates trust with people, to where they're going to buy from us instead of somebody else, where they're going to invest the time and energy when they know that we are trustworthy. And his quote said this. He said, Jeff Goins admitted that diligence isn't always his strong suit, or wasn't always his strong suit. I'd take a shower, get an idea, I'd start a blog, and then 3 months later, I'd abandon it because it hadn't succeeded as quickly as I wanted it to. But then he got serious. I was so frustrated with myself, with trying and failing and flaking out, that I decided I'm going to give this a real go. The next day, he got up at 5 a.m. and started writing, and he did that for a whole year. And that is what launched his success, was understanding and being very aware of the fact that without diligence, you can't create an atmosphere of trust with the people you're working with. They want to know, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? Or are you going to say you're going to be there and then step away for a couple weeks and then come back and, oh, here she is again. I guess she's got some good stuff that she didn't really care to share the last couple weeks. You know, like, people need that. People have to have that trust. They have to know that you're diligent, that you are there, that you're all in. You're going to show up on the days you don't feel like it, because they're worth it, because they are important to you, that they matter. And then the final thing, so diligence wins trust. Understand that. And then the final thing is a quote from John Acuff. And it's all about, let me scroll down. It's all about taking what you do seriously so that people will buy into you, right? Okay. So it says this. Okay. Staying connected to your why. We talk about this a lot. Connecting with our why, what it is that motivates us and pushes us in this business, that underlying reason of why we're really doing this and why we're not going to give up. Staying connected to your why keeps you from working for the wrong reasons. And John Acuff said this: if you do what you do only for the clapping, for the applause, then you give the audience the power to tell you when to stop. When they stop clapping, that's when you stop too. There are going to be moments when they don't clap, and you have to have something bigger, something more important than that is driving you. So with that quote, which I absolutely love, is that we simply have to take what we do so seriously. Because if we don't, people know, they read into what we're doing. They feel the vibe of whether or not we really take their health seriously, or if we're just trying to get a product in their hands, right? But we're so much more than that. We are so much more than a product. We don't work for somebody. We are our own bosses. We work with Beachbody to put amazing tools in people's hands, but that's not what we do. That's not who we are. That's part of what we do. It's part of the equation, but we have so much more to offer. So I want you to tap into that inner name brand thing that you are inspired by, that you love, that you are connected to, that you are committed to buying, right? Year after year. And I want you to really focus in on what it is exactly that sets you apart, that's going to give you that name brand feel, to where people are coming, they're knocking at your door to work with you because of the trust that you've built, that you've made them, you're committed to making them the hero of their story, of the hero of their life. When you do that, when you're committed to that, everything's going to change in your business, but you have to be committed to that. That's it. I mean, that's it. You've got to become that name brands and win over the customers by making it all about them. And that's how you will be successful. So that's it. That is the call for tonight. And I'm so glad that you're on. I'm so glad that you took some time. I appreciate you. And I'm excited for this week. I'm excited to see how the rest of our week goes. And please let us know whatever questions, let me know whatever questions you have. Connect with the person who invited you, and let them know if you want to discuss this or anything else. We're here for you to make sure that this is a good fit for you. And coaches, Team 180 coaches, I'm proud of you. I'm proud to serve alongside of you. And I love you, and I'm proud of you. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Have a wonderful night. Thanks so much for being on live, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Mwah.